Dan Coons wake you up in the morning. Dan Coons wondering why you're snoring. Dan Coons show's fun, not boring. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
The secret's out. Captain Wagner, my good friend, has been practicing social distancing. He's been holed up at his palatial estate in Kashmir, and a couple of days ago he sent me a text. He said, I need a photo of you. Can you send me a photo of your face? And before I had a chance to respond, he sent me another text about an hour later, said, never mind, I found one. And then I started to think, why would he want that? And then yesterday in the bullpen in the newsroom, Megan was in a giddy mood and Uriah was chuckling underneath his breath, and I figured they knew something that I don't know. And now I know what Tucker wanted to do with that. A bored Captain Wagner is a dangerous Captain Wagner. Tucker, you're on my list, buddy. Happy Friday. It's the 22nd day of May, 2020. I am Dan Kuntz, closing in on a 3-day weekend. Memorial Day weekend is almost upon us. It's as early as Memorial Day can be, actually. It's always celebrated or observed, if you will, Memorial Day observed on the fourth Monday in May, and this is as early as the fourth Monday in May can be, is the 25th. Memorial Day, forever and ever, right up until 1970, was always celebrated on May 30th, regardless of day of the week it was. And then in 1970, they passed the Uniform Holiday Act, which put Memorial Day and Labor Day and those holidays where they are now today. And from 1971 to now, Memorial Day is always celebrated on the fourth Monday in May, and it can't get any earlier than the 25th. It can be as late as the 31st, can't be before the 25th. So it's as early as Memorial Day can fall on Monday, now that we got that nonsense out of the way. A lot to get to. A bit of a change in the forecast. Things aren't quite what they were 24 hours ago. We'll get to that very important forecast. Basically, it's still going to be fairly mild, but we're now expecting perhaps a few more clouds for the 3-day weekend than they were originally anticipating, the National Weather Service yesterday. Next week looks fantabulous. We'll get to that. A lot of news to get to as we close in on the 3-day weekend. We got sports to talk about. What are the colleges going to do about the spring sports athletes at the collegiate level who didn't get a chance to participate this year, and they want to come back for perhaps a 5th year of eligibility? We'll talk about that when we get to sports. We'll have the obscure holidays, some celebrity birthdays today in history, and everyone is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion. And yesterday, our good friend Jefferson Robbins had a chance to hold a quick little Zoom session with Congresswoman Kim Schrier, and she's going to talk about the HEROES Act. So we'll fill you in on that information. That'll be in the back half of the program. Tucker said, I made the list. Oh, Tucker, you'll be hearing from me. Let's go around the valley with our Valley View cameras. It's 50 degrees with overcast skies right now in the Wenatchee Valley, and we're still going to have a little bit of wind today. We can't seem to get out of this windy period we've had for the last 72 hours or so. You can see the clouds, they're hanging around. The sun came up this morning at 5:16, sunset tonight at 8:40. That's 15 hours and 24 minutes of daylight. This cool period continues. We've had a long stretch of cool weather. We only hit 65 yesterday, and that's about what we're going to get to today. It'll be gradually warming up on Saturday, warmer still Sunday, warmer still on Memorial Day, but as I already mentioned, we're looking at more clouds and sun, I'm afraid, for you outdoor enthusiasts. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley. Camera number 2. Blag Mountain, one of my favorites, overlooking the Bavarian village of Leavenworth. I mentioned this a couple of days ago as we hope to move on from phase 1 to phase 2 and later phases so more and more businesses can open up. But a lot of the businesses in the core downtown areas of both Leavenworth and Chelan, which are so tourist dependent as we head into the Memorial Day weekend, they're going to take a pretty good hit. I'm almost certain of that because, well, they're not considered essential. Good morning to Leavenworth from Blag Mountain, high atop beautiful Peshest in Washington. Camera number 3. We're going to take a look at, oh, Megan, let's see here. I got to do a little studying. Is that Stein zoomed in? What am I looking at? That's the Manson water tower. Wow, you fooled me. So there's Lake Chelan out there. Wow, I'm guessing that we're looking to the north, up towards the Stehekin area from the Manson Water Tower. That's a good one because I mistook that body of water way off in the distance as a river and not a lake. Yep, I was born and raised here and I have no idea what I'm looking at. Oh, can I go home? Camera number 4. There's Omi Gardens. Oh me, oh my, it's Omi Gardens. Rocky Reach Dam generating some electricity. And I mentioned this yesterday. Of course, the Columbia River is running, as it always is this time of the year. Combination of the snowmelt up in British Columbia and some rains in the upper part of the state of Washington. The Columbia is running high and it's running cold. Don't see many spill gates opened at Rocky Reach Dam, but I noticed that Rock Island Dam had a number of spill gates opened. Just out of curiosity, you can see Turtle Rock and all things to the north of us. Just gorgeous view from our Omi Gardens camera. Bad news that Omi Gardens isn't going to open this year. That's a real sock in the gut for me. I love that place, but it is what it is. Good stuff. Nicely done this morning, Megan, except for the new intro to the show, and I'd like to talk to you after the show as well, Megan. I know Tucker made it, but you're the one who played it. It's 6.5 minutes after the hour. Let's throw up a slide from the National Weather Service. Yeah, it's going to be a little cooler. The far eastern part of our state's been inundated with rain. Spokane, Lewiston, and Pullman had record rainfall yesterday, and they had record rainfall on Wednesday. They're going to have a little bit more rain today. We kind of missed all that. The Lee of the Cascades protected us. As you can see, we're going to be dry, but the temperatures are still below normal. We have had a long period of cool weather, and we're still going to deal with a little bit of wind today and tonight. No wind once we get to Saturday, and I'm fine with that. I'm getting a little tired of the wind. It kind of wears you down a little bit. Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling gives your home a hug, and here's your forecast for Memorial Day weekend. Mostly cloudy today, I'm afraid. It's going to be breezy. We'll get up to 67 degrees. As far as the wind is concerned, we'll have a northwest wind most of the day today, about 13 to 18 miles an hour. But yeah, the occasional gust up near 30 is a distinct possibility. Mostly clear tonight, 46 for the overnight low, still breezy tonight. 44 for the overnight low, still breezy tonight. Northwest wind about 11 to 16 miles an hour, but it will gradually die down. Saturday looks nice. Sunshine, 75 degrees, very little wind. Clouds come back on Sunday. We tick it up a couple of degrees to 77. No rain in the forecast, just clouds. And unfortunately for Monday, yesterday they were predicting we'll have a few sun breaks on Monday. Now they're saying on Memorial Day proper, look for more clouds. Again, mild. Again, no rain, no wind, just overcast on Memorial Day and a high of 78. And then boom, here comes the warm stuff. We'll eventually be getting well above normal. We've been well below normal for our afternoon highs. We're going to reverse that trend on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I did the math. You'll see that 82-degree high on Tuesday of next week. The last day that the Wenatchee Valley hit 80 degrees or higher was back on Saturday, September 7th. So if we get to 80 or above on Tuesday, that will break a streak of 262 consecutive days without getting at least to 80. Now, normally this is May. I mean, we're deep into May. Normally we would have had 4 or 5 days in the 80s. Sometimes even in April we get a couple of days pop up in the 80s. But we have yet to hit 80 degrees this year. We've hit 79 a couple. Haven't gotten to that magic 80. Looks like we'll do that on Tuesday, Wednesday, and certainly on Thursday. So that's your forecast from the National Weather Service. 9 minutes after the hour, I'm going to take a 1-minute break. There's a lot of news, so come back and join me in 1 minute, and we'll let you know what's making news on this Friday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Hi, my name is Manuel Navarro, Chief Operating Officer at Columbia Valley Community Health. Patient safety is our top priority, including providing care that just can't wait. With enhanced safety precautions, we want to ensure you that we're able to continue providing safe and efficient in-person care at our clinic. From in-car check-in, ongoing screening, immediate rooming, your family can get the safe care that they deserve here at Columbia Valley Community Health.
Opioids are now one of the leading causes of injury-related deaths in Washington state. More people die from overdose than from car crashes. Between 2012 and 2016, more than 3,300 lives in Washington were lost to opioid overdose. We are all part of the solution. Your choices matter. If you are prescribed an opioid pain medication, talk with your doctor about other options, and don't share your prescriptions with other people. It starts with you. Learn more at getthefaxrx.com.
10 minutes after the hour, we have 50 degrees with overcast skies, and we're looking at highs mid to upper 60s. Lots of clouds today, still dealing with some wind. Good dose of sunshine on Saturday. Get out and enjoy. Lots of clouds, mild temperatures on Sunday and Memorial Day Monday. And here's what's making headlines. We start out with COVID-19 related news. Chelan, Douglas, and Grant counties are nowhere near meeting the new guidelines for an early move to phase 2 of Governor Jay Inslee's COVID-19 reopening plan. Inslee on Tuesday said counties with no more than 10 new cases per 100,000 residents in the past 14 days could apply for a variance to move to phase 2, which would allow, of course, a wide range of businesses to reopen. But the numbers released Wednesday by the Chelan-Douglas Health District showed Chelan County with 81 cases per 100,000 people in the 14 days leading up to May 18th. Douglas County had 108 cases per 100,000 over the same period, and the Grant County Health District estimates its county needs to be at 0.71 cases per day for 14 days to meet the new guidelines, but the county averaged 1.5 cases per day for the past 14 days. Most counties are expected to move to phase 2 on June 1st under a previously announced timeline, but it's unclear if those counties will need to meet the new 14-day guidelines in order to do so. A Wenatchee man who ran from a police stop and hid in an East Wenatchee home was sentenced Wednesday to 2 years in prison. Mitchell Figuera Ibarra, 26 years old, pled guilty to fleeing police, methamphetamine possession, and unlawful possession of a handgun. Back in January, he led police on a high-speed pursuit throughout East Wenatchee before taking refuge in a home on 5th Street Northeast. It was more than an hour before he surrendered. Figueroa previously served just under 7 years in prison for a gang-related stabbing. Moses Lake police arrested 4 juvenile suspects this week who are suspected of committing a series of car prowls. 2 of the suspects are 13 years old, another is 15, and the 4th is just 12 years old. Police say they also identified 2 of the youths, the 15-year-old and one of the 13-year-olds, as suspects in an armed robbery that took place back on May 12th. In that incident, the teens reportedly agreed to sell $100 worth of marijuana to a 20-year-old man, but instead robbed him of cash at gunpoint. 7 vehicles in the Knowles Vista and Paxton Drive areas were prowled Sunday evening and early Monday morning. Cash, credit cards, purses, small electronic devices, and a wedding ring were all stolen. Police said all but the cash were recovered. 2 of the suspects were booked into juvenile detention. The other 2 released because of their ages. A Tacoma woman faces multiple charges after a rollover accident on Highway 2 sent a passenger in her car to the hospital. The Washington State Patrol reports that shortly before 5:30 yesterday afternoon, a 2001 Volvo sedan being driven by 37-year-old Tammy Fisher was heading westbound on Highway 2 near the Jameson Lake Road intersection when it crossed the highway, rolled over, and came to rest in a ditch. The passenger, 40-year-old Nicholas Rochon of Seattle, who was not wearing a seatbelt, was thrown from the car and airlifted to Central Washington Hospital. He has unknown injuries. Fisher was transported to Columbia Basin Hospital in Ephrata. Fisher faces charges of DUI and vehicular assault. Jessica Johnson is the executive director of SAGE. SAGE provides victim support services, and she appeared on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley earlier this week to talk about how the COVID-19 pandemic has heightened concerns about domestic violence here in the Wenatchee Valley.
We've seen the violence get worse, that there has been more broken bones or severe beatings, those types of things. So it's sad because we know those people are out there, but also during this time, and you and I have talked about this before, that sometimes it's easier to stay with somebody that you know than try to figure out how to go about being at a new place, being with different people, especially during this time of quarantine. So that makes sheltering people a little bit difficult too.
And there are all kinds of contributing factors to this, Jessica, not the least of which is economics. A lot of people simply don't have the economic wherewithal to get away from their abuser because they've been laid off and they're living basically day to day, month to month, just with food and rent, and that builds up stress, and that stress has a tendency to release itself in unhealthy ways.
Yes, that's exactly what we call the cycle of abuse, is that something happens. Well, first you feel the tension building, and then you feel like you're walking on eggshells around your partner. And then something happens like this, COVID, or somebody got laid off of work, or they're just in close proximity all day, every day, and that causes the explosion. And right now, I don't think that there really is a honeymoon period, because you can't really back away from that person if you're sheltering at home with them. But so I feel like it, instead of having like the triangle that we usually talk about, it's just going from tension building to the explosion, tension building to the explosion. So just a circle. And that makes it really hard for people, because there's nowhere for them to get away. I mean, basically, we talk about power and control in a relationship for domestic violence, and that happens. But right now, there's no relief from that, because that person, like I said, is sheltered with their abuser. And if that happens, the power and control just escalates. I mean, the abuser tends to be more controlling. The survivor, the victim, doesn't have anywhere else to go right now, because we are trying to follow the governor's orders to stay at home and stay healthy.
An unfortunately eventful week continued for McGlynn's Public Ale House Wednesday. A strong wind toppled the tree, as you see there, right in front of the Wenatchee restaurant's outside dining area. The restaurant reports that nobody was injured in that incident, or on Tuesday, when a lightning strike knocked out power to the historic building on Rondo Avenue. The restaurant continues to offer takeout services during the COVID-19 shutdown, despite the recent challenges. Wow, look at that. One casualty of the tree was a 1920s door. But the center panel with a John Muir quote survived. The restaurant plans to hang it inside their restaurant as a reminder of these strange times indeed. The U.S. Forest Service is going to reopen Icicle Road later on today, but advises motorists to expect some traffic delays. The road provides access to some of the most popular trailheads in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest. It's been closed since March 27th, when Washington Governor Jay Inslee issued his stay home, stay healthy order. Most trailheads in the National Forest will reopen today, but campgrounds remain closed until sometime next month. But the spur road off Icicle Road that accesses 8 Mile and Stewart Lake trailheads will be closed until May 31st, because they're improving the trailhead. They're also grading the road and the placement of a new gravel surfacing and parking barriers. So heads up there. Now the protective masks are recommended apparel. The city of Chelan is holding a weekly contest to select the most unique face mask. Each week, a new theme will be announced, and residents are encouraged to send a photo of them wearing their mask to the city of Chelan or post it on their Facebook page. Mayor Bob Getty will announce the weekly winner each Wednesday on Cozy Radio. Winners can earn gift certificates to local Chelan businesses. And finally, this morning, it is, of course, Memorial Day weekend. Even though there's a stay home, stay healthy order still in effect, people will be out on the mountain, on the road, enjoying recreational activities. Yes, the Washington State Patrol will be out and about as well. They're not taking the weekend off. Here's a special message from our friend Trooper John Bryant.
Hello, everybody. Trooper Bryant, your District 6 Public Information Officer here. Another Memorial Day weekend is almost upon us. Expect extra patrols out there this weekend. We will be out there in force, looking to stop excessive speeders, distracted drivers, those driving under influence, not wearing seatbelts, and those just causing problems out there. We want everyone to be safe this weekend. We don't want to respond to a fatality collision or a serious injury collision. We want traffic to flow as smoothly as possible. What can you do to help out? Call 911 if you see it. Let us know, let the communications officer know what's going on, where it's at. Help us out with the information. Help be our eyes and ears out there so we can get to those problem areas faster and clear the roadways so you can get where you need to go this weekend. Also, Kittitas County Public Health Department has asked that I pass a message off to those coming to Kittitas County or driving through. They're hoping to mitigate the COVID-19 problem they have here in Kittitas County. They want to go into the governor's phase 2 plan by May 27th. So they're asking you, if you all possibly can, to not visit the county, or if you have to do that food stop or gas stop, just do it and move on through, because they want to open up for business after the end of May and hopefully get things as close to normal as they'll ever be. So please help them out if you possibly can. Have a safe weekend.
Same to you, Trooper Bryant. I've met John a couple of times. I thought he was a bigger man than that. And that's what's making headlines at 20 minutes after the hour. Oh, the news with Grain Olson will come your way tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. By the way, just a heads up, this show will be not be shown on Memorial Day. We got the day off. as does Grant, as does the entire NCW Life staff. We will not be here on Monday, but the news will be on tonight with the preview. Here's Grant.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, 2 Chelan County jail inmates allegedly assaulted a third, leaving him with a facial fracture. All of your complete North Central Washington weekend weather forecast and staying home and staying healthy. Eric Granstrom will have a look at sports. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
I will absolutely start my weekend by watching the news with Grant, plus Eric Granstrom with sports. You got a news tip for us? You just want to drop us a note and say hi or whatever the case may be? We'd love to hear from you, our viewers, and we do. Trust me on that. We give you all the tools that are out there in the World Wide Web. You can go to our Facebook page and drop us a line via Facebook Messenger. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. If you go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, you'll see the Contact Us icon. Click on that. You can either submit a news tip or just drop us a line, and you'd like to do that as well. But we love to hear from you, our viewers. And we're going to take a break, 21 minutes after the hour. Come back with sports. We're talking spring collegiate sports. What are they going to do for the graduating seniors who want to continue their collegiate career in these strange times? We'll also talk about Major League Baseball, the NBA, Seattle Seahawks, and more. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, my name is Todd Mill with the Rail Station and Ale House in Wenatchee. During this time of the coronavirus pandemic, we're urging you to stay home, stay healthy, and stay safe. As an essential business during this crisis, we're doing our best to serve meals to the children in this community for free to make sure that nobody goes hungry. When this crisis passes and it's safe to do so, we hope you'll come down and join us at the Rail Station and Ale House. But until then, stay home, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
Back out of the 23 minutes after the hour. Let's talk about sports. The University of Washington women's softball team was 23-2. They were ranked second in the nation. Then boom, COVID-19 comes, canceled their season. And for 4 seniors, playing a future full of uncertainty is what's going to happen. And have they played their last game or not? Back in March, the NCAA voted that Division I schools could allow an extra year of eligibility for all spring sport athletes, but they left it up to the individual schools on how to pay for it. Well, the University of Washington and Washington State University have agreed to foot the bill to offer scholarships and financial aid to spring seniors who want to come back. According to UW Athletic Director Jen Cohen, 30 Husky athletes are expected to come back at a cost of $1 million. Wazoo AD Pat Chun says 17 Cougars will opt to return for a 5th year at a cost of about $300,000 to the university. Both athletic directors agreed it was the right thing to do. Wisconsin AD Barry Alvarez told his seniors to move on with their lives. The Badgers are not allowing its spring sports seniors a chance to come back next year. It's possible that a new term has been added to redshirt freshman or 5th year senior. It's going to be called maybe the COVID caveat. Seahawks safety Quandre Diggs is patiently waiting for the pandemic to calm down so he can begin his first full year with the Seahawks. The 6-year pro, of course, was traded to the Seahawks midseason. In 2019, we got him from the Detroit Lions. He says he has no idea how long this is going to last, but when it comes time to play, he's going to be ready.
At this point, I don't know anything. I'm just, I'm out of the loop just like everybody else. All I'm doing is preparing myself to be the best player, best person, best teammate I could be. And, just kind of roll with the punches. That's kind of what I can do. Like I say, the pandemic is bigger than football at the moment. I got a 10-month-old daughter that I got to take care of. I have a 87-year-old grandmother that I got to keep safe. So at the end of the day, this pandemic is bigger than football. I just think we just got to let all the facts, let the doctors and the scientists and let those guys figure it all out you know what I mean, whenever, Goodell or whoever makes the announcement that, we can come back and we can play ball, then we just go from there.
The NFL is not locked in on a timeline for when teams can resume workouts and practices. As far as Diggs is concerned, if he has his way, he'd just say skip the preseason games and we just go right into the regular season.
Me, honestly, I'm going to my 6th year, so if it was up to me, I'd be cool with not doing training camp as much. You know what I mean? I'm cool with, going out and practicing with my guys and being around my guys. But as far as getting in shape and, things like that, I feel like you can do those things on your own. But when it's time to play football, it's mentality. And, it'll be cool if we had training camp. If we don't, I wouldn't say it's a big deal. I think guys we had the same offense, same defense. We have a few new players, but, I feel like we all got the grasp of the offense and defense, special teams. And I think, we can hit the ground running. I'm not saying we don't need to, get together and practice and stuff like that. But, preseason games, a lot of guys mix and matching anyway. So, you might get 2 quarters playing in the preseason. That's it. So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Seahawks are scheduled to begin training camp in July, and then, of course, they have their exhibition season, which is supposed to begin in mid-August. All of that's up in the air because of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the meantime, Diggs says, hey, he's digging being at home with his family.
This is me, man. Like, the quarantine is perfect for me because this is my life. I stay at home, chill with my family, play video games, hang out, crack jokes on Twitter, Instagram. This is just kind of my life. I'm never around a bunch of people. So I wouldn't say I picked up anything new. Heck, me and my little nephews had spike ball tournaments. Just to get out the house, get them out the house, get them moving. But one thing that I have honed up on is just being a dad. You guys know how proud I am of being a dad. But just spending these last 6 months or 5 months with her has been amazing. It's just the way she learns, the way she reacts to me when I go get her out the crib in the morning. I those are the things that I'll miss when we end up starting. So I think that's been the dopest part for me, just being able to be around my daughter and let her actually be with me and understand that I'm her father. And it's certain stuff that we can do that her and mom can't do. So I think that's a dope part.
The NBA continues to make progress, for planning anyway, getting back onto the hardwood. The quotes coming out from the players and from the front office personnel seem to be leaning in the direction that there will definitely be basketball soon. Now, we're currently in the time frame that was offered by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver of a plan being put together. The most likely scenario would have all 30 teams take up residence at Walt Disney World in Orlando. The huge campus has lots of accommodations for players and team personnel, and there's a lot of courts on which to play. By the sounds of it, teams could begin training camps in the next couple of weeks. Milwaukee Bucks owner Mark Lasry, speaking Thursday on CNBC, said the NBA's Board of Governors will meet again next week and that he believes, quote, within the next 6 to 8 weeks, we should be playing. Let's talk about baseball. The Baseball Players Association gave management a wide-ranging response Thursday to a 67-page proposal. It's to set up protocols for the season, Major League Baseball, to be played during the coronavirus pandemic. The union said Thursday it addressed protections from high-risk players, access to pre- and post-game therapies, testing a lot, protocols for positive tests in stadium medical personnel, sanitation procedures. Players viewed many of the concepts in the original draft as a little over the top, like arriving in uniform at the ballparks, a prohibition on them leaving without team permission, and a ban on guests other than immediate family members. Major League Baseball is expected to make an economic proposal to the union within the next couple of days. The hope is to start the season by early July. Finally, a reminder of what we have on tap, this weekend. For the sports schedule, it begins tonight. We got Apple Sox baseball, a game from last August when they took on the Yakima Valley Pippins. You can watch that tonight at 6:30. We got wrestling and football on the docket tomorrow. Eastmont hosting West Valley. Eric Granstrom has the call of grapplers on the mat. That from January of 2017. We'll have that tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Then Eric will join Grant Olson for Big Nine football between the Wildcats and the Rams tomorrow night at 6:30. Sunday, double dip of Wenatchee Wild hockey against the Merritt Centennials. First game from November 1st is at 2 o'clock. The 7 o'clock game is from the following day at the Town Toyota Center from last fall. And that is a look at sports. At 30 minutes after the hour, obscure holiday. I had a number to choose from. I always do. Today is National Craft Distillery Day. Today is National Solitaire Day. Today is National Vanilla Pudding Day. But we're going to go with Buy a Musical Instrument Day today. Are music stores essential businesses? I don't know. Fancy yourself a musician? Buy a musical instrument. If you already have a musical instrument, learn how to play. Musical instruments go all the way back to the very beginning of mankind when they created rhythm, by just banging bones and sticks onto rocks and shells, used for religious ceremonies, hunting ceremonies. And then somehow or another, the idea of melody and harmony kind of got into things, and then music got better and better and better, and it got easier and easier to play, and more instruments came out. So if you have the opportunity, go out and buy yourself an instrument that you've always wanted to play. If you bought an instrument you never learned how to play, maybe you can learn to do that as well. By the way, I found this very fascinating. What's the oldest human instrument, musical instrument, that was created by humans? Now, we don't count sticks and bones on rocks. I'm talking about something that actually plays notes. It's the flute. Yeah. Historians believe that the flute was the first instrument that was actually made by humans to play. Somebody figured out that, hey, if you take a stick and you hollow it out and poke some holes in it, you can make notes. You can make music. Buy a musical instrument day today, if you can. Today in history, of course, we live in very stressful political times, political strife at home and abroad, but we do have this going for ourselves here in this country. Senators don't beat each other up on the Senate floor during heated debate. They used to. They did back in 1856, May 22nd. 1856, 164 years ago today. Charles Sumner of Massachusetts, the esteemed senator from Massachusetts, Senator Sumner, gave a speech on the floor of the United States Senate. Senator Sumner insulted Preston Brooks of South Carolina. It was basically, slavery is wrong and the South is backwards and you're not doing us any good. Southerners and slavery, you're on the wrong side of history. This is what the great Senator Sumner of Massachusetts said on the floor. Congressman Preston Brooks of South Carolina didn't like what he had to say, so as soon as he got done, he took his cane and he beat Charles Sumner up big time, right on the floor of the chamber of the United States Senate. Beat him up badly. It kind of revealed the polarization of politics in America. Sumner, as you might imagine, became a martyr for the cause of freedom and anti-slavery in the North. Brooks became a hero in the South, and to top it all off, Sumner spent months in the hospital convalescing, and in the meantime, his political enemies in the South were accusing him of not going to work. Well, your good buddy Preston beat the bejesus out of him, so no, he ain't coming to work for a while. Happened on this date 164 years ago today. Happy birthday to the flying machine. We should start calling airplanes flying machines again. That would be cool. May 22nd, 1906, 114 years ago today, Orville and Wilbur Wright received patent number 821,393 for their flying machine. Yes, I think we should go back to flying machine. I think it would add a little romance to flying in airplanes. Made them rich, too, I might add. Only 2 volcanoes in the lower 48 ever erupted in the 20th century. One was Mount St. Helens. We talked about that on Monday. The only other volcano in the lower 48 to erupt in the 20th century was Lassen Peak, which erupted on this date. It's in Northern California. It erupted on this date 105 years ago today, May 22nd, 1915. That's the actual eruption captured on film. So yeah, we weren't all by ourselves here at Mount St. Helens. Lassen Peak beat us to it. Happened 105 years ago today. And speaking of natural disasters, this is the 60th anniversary of the strongest earthquake ever recorded. It happened in southern Chile, 9.5 on the Richter scale. The tsunami went all the way across the Pacific Ocean and devastated Hawaii. 35-foot waves in Hawaii killed a bunch of people. There was tsunamis that killed people in Japan and in the Philippines for a 9.5 earthquake that happened in Chile, and it happened 60 years ago today. 9.5. Wow, that's a shaker. Let's do some birthdays. Actors consider this guy the best there ever was. Sir Laurence Olivier, born in this state in 1907. Not only was he an actor, he was a director and a producer. Sir Laurence Olivier, in various interviews with Spencer Tracy and Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall and Katharine Hepburn, they all said he's the best of the best. And he won 4 Academy Awards, Sir Laurence Olivier. Born in the state in 1907. Kathy McMorris Rogers, U.S. Representative from the 5th Congressional District, 51 years old today. She is the highest-ranking woman Republican in the United States Congress. She is the chair of the House Republican Conference. I don't know what that means. Happy 51st birthday, Kathy McMorris Rogers. And Apollo Ono, you remember him? He's from the Pacific Northwest, the American speed skater, short track speed skater. He's won 8 medals in the Winter Olympics. He got 2 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze. And then about 10 years ago, he competed on and won Dancing with the Stars. Apollo Ono, 38 years old today. 36 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. Mike Magnotti has got an opinion. His topic, don't be stupid. And then it is a conversation that our very own Jefferson Robbins had via Zoom with Congresswoman Kim Schrier to talk about the HEROES Act. You'll see that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
People are starting to talk about reopening, and it is these local businesses with boots on the ground and personal guarantees on their loans and leases that are out there working diligently right now to welcome us all back and to keep us all safe. So as that opportunity grows to participate and congregate, remember your friends and neighbors that are the operators of those local businesses. And let's see if we can't turn this struggle into a strength for this entire local business community.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We'll do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
I have a hereditary bone disease from the female side of my family. My bone loss was so significant that you could almost see the roots. I became embarrassed and I started covering my mouth. Eating became very difficult as far as I stopped eating apples, corn on the cob, things that you just eat as it is without utensils. Dr. Divis was my dentist prior to having implants. We talked about traditional dentures or implants, and implants was the only way really that I could go. John Divis and all of his office staff, they checked on me throughout all the processes. I would never go anyplace else. Today, I can eat corn on the cob. I can have apples. Thanks to Dr. John Divis and his staff, I have my smile back. I feel more confident. I am me again.
This is John Divis. Let our team help you solve your dental needs.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, how we men perceive our behaviors with our wives can have a huge effect, not only on our relationships, but on how we end up being the man who we want to be. Now, working with a couple recently, the wife was weeping in rage due to her husband's insensitive behavior. Now, he looked at me and he said, "I'm not doing anything wrong. What am I supposed to do? Be a wimp and just do everything she tells me to do?" I told him, "Hey, stop being stupid and face the fact that you're insisting on doing what you want to do is being hurtful to a person who you claim to love, a woman who we promised to protect and cherish. I said, maybe you should be willing to let go of what you think your rights are and start showing some love and respect to your wife. Now, that's hardly being a wimp, my friend. That's being a real man. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
JDSA Law is a proud sponsor of these local sports broadcasts. They've been serving North Central and Eastern Washington since 1946. For over 70 years, their team of dedicated professionals has delivered quality, innovative legal services. JDSA Law partners with you to provide the finest legal advice and support as you navigate your personal and business challenges, risks, and accomplishments. At JDSA Law, they salute our local athletes and wish them well on another excellent season of competition.
Few things strike fear in the human heart, like the possibility of a rattlesnake bite. Dogs can encounter rattlesnakes on their walks or in their yards, and being curious, often get bitten on their face, neck, and legs. Luckily, a vaccination is available to help neutralize venom so dogs experience less pain and swelling. Even if your dog has received a vaccine, you still need to seek immediate help. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff of Paws and Claws care about your pet's health. Call 888-PAWS to schedule your vaccination today.
No calories, no sweeteners, all smiles. Bubbly, sparkling water. Crack a smile.
Good to see you again. Still sitting at 50 degrees with overcast skies. Wind out of the north-northwest at 8 miles an hour. We're going to take one more look at your Memorial Day forecast in depth here before this program is wrapped up for this Friday. But it started with the CARES Act. Now, the congressional response to coronavirus continues with the HEROES Act. That's a $3 trillion piece of legislation that passed from the House of Representatives last week. 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schrier supported the bill, and she talked to our very own Jefferson Robbins about how the HEROES Act operates.
The HEROES bill, I think, was a really important next step, and it covered a lot of things that are really important. And like any 1,800-page bill, there were some parts of it that I didn't love. So here's what about it I do love. Our state and local governments are hurting tremendously right now. Our state has expended tremendous resources, and they're also not getting any sales tax income revenue right now. And so they're talking about having to cut major services. And the best thing we can do, for example, for our public education is get money to the states, because that's how our kids learn, and that is a worthy investment. Same thing to local governments, to our counties. These are all systems that are paid for locally. And so the HEROES Act has almost $1 trillion, that's with a T, for state and local governments. That is critical. There's a couple other things that are really critical. Look, to get our hands around this, we need testing and tracing, contact tracing. Dedicates resources for that. It also has vote at home, which we are lucky enough to have in this state. It's worked well. We've worked out the kinks, but the rest of the country doesn't have that, and nobody should have to jeopardize their health in order to exercise their right to vote, especially with a pandemic that hurts senior citizens more than anybody else, and they are reliable voters. It doesn't matter what party you're in. And then supporting the post office, the postal service as well. So those things are in. Things I didn't love, I think that now that we have a moment to pause, I think it would be fiscally wise when we have enhanced unemployment. to make sure that there's a cap at what people's previous salary was, because we don't want to provide a disincentive to go back to work. And this doesn't apply to that many people, but I talk with small business owners who say, I want to get my workers back because I just got this PPP loan and I can't get them back. And I think that's an easy fix. I think it's also an easy fix to say, if we're going to do another cash payment that's very generous, some people need it, some people don't. And if you're earning your same prior salary, you're able to pay your rent and mortgage, you're doing okay, and COVID has not, fortunately, impacted you, you don't need that. And I think it's fiscally responsible to have a little bit more of a fine and careful look at things when you don't have the urgency of the first CARES bill.
There was some disappointment that you expressed concerning what the HEROES bill was able to do, particularly in the realm of agriculture. Can you talk about that for a second?
Well, I have a bill that I absolutely love, and I think it may end up coming back when the Senate and the House work together on this bill, because it's so important. Here's one of the saddest things that's happening right now among all of the sad things. We have lines around the block because more people than ever are relying on food stamps and are going to food banks to make those ends meet. At the same time, we have fewer volunteers at food banks, and we also have farmers who are saying, oh my gosh, we used to sell everything to local restaurants, to schools, to farmers market. We don't have a market anymore, and so they're having to till their crops under. And what a tremendous waste of resources. And so my bill merely says, look, the USDA has a couple great programs, but it's the USDA, and it's going to take so long to roll it out, and people are hungry now. Let's just get money straight to the states. They know where their small and medium farmers are. They know where their food banks are. They know how to make those connections. So let's let them do that in a nimble way. And I think this just makes so much sense. It has bipartisan support. Kathy McMorris-Rogers and I are on this bill together. I'm so glad she joined me. And we've got support in the Senate. So I'm going to continue to push for the sake of our farmers.
And again, that's Jefferson's interview with Congresswoman Kim Schrier about the HEROES Act. It's 47 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and repeat the top two stories on this busy News Friday. And we still have a weather forecast for the 3-day Memorial Day weekend. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
This is Caitlin Hedershe, the producer of the NCW Life magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCW Life magazine right here on the NCW Life channel.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guests for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life channel.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around North Central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
And we are back at 50 minutes after the hour on this Friday. We wanted to repeat the top two news stories of the day, and the top one is Chelan, Douglas, and Grant counties, we are nowhere near meeting the new guidelines for an early move to phase 2 of Governor Jay Inslee's COVID-19 reopening plan. Inslee on Tuesday said counties with no more than 10 new cases per 100,000 residents in the past 14 days could apply for a variance and move to phase 2. That, of course, would allow a wide range of businesses to reopen. But the numbers released Wednesday by the Chelan-Douglas Health District showed Chelan County with 81 cases per 100,000 people in the past 14 days leading up to May 18th. Douglas County, 108 cases per 100,000 over the same period. And the Grant County Health District, they estimate its county needs to be at 0.71 cases per day for 14 days to meet the new guidelines. But the county averaged 1.5 cases per day for the past 14 days. Most counties are expected to move into phase 2 on June 1st under a previously announced timeline, but it's unclear if those counties will need to meet the new 14-day guidelines to do so. And Moses Lake police arrested 4 juvenile suspects this week who are suspected of committing a series of car prowls. 2 of the suspects are 13 years old, another 15, and the 4th is 12 years old. Police say they also identified 2 of the youths, the 15-year-old and one of the 13-year-olds, as suspects in an armed robbery that took place on May 12th. In that incident, the teens reportedly agreed to sell $100 worth of marijuana to a 20-year-old man, but instead robbed him of cash at gunpoint. 7 vehicles in the Knowles Vista and Paxton Drive areas were prowled Sunday evening and early Monday morning. Among the items taken, cash, credit cards, purses, small electronic devices, and a wedding ring. Police said all but the cash have been recovered. 2 of the suspects were booked into juvenile detention. The other 2 were released because of their ages. A strange story indeed out in the Columbia Basin. All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back and take one more look at that weekend weather forecast. Things have changed, I'm afraid, a little bit. Little more clouds, little less sun. Details are coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Get your yard sign or banner made for your graduating senior today. Order from your local sign company, Color FX in Cashmere. Banners, signs, and more. Call Color FX today. Weeds Cafe fresh-made breakfast, lunch, and lattes are still available for takeout. Call ahead, order online, or stop on by. Support this local business, Weeds Cafe.
Bonfile Boats and Motors is open. Following social distancing practices, Bonfiles is open for service and sales.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
The world around us is constantly changing. Major employers in North Central Washington have expressed a need for capable, qualified engineering technologists who can think critically and solve problems. And at Wenatchee Valley College, we listened. We are pleased to offer a Bachelor of Applied Science Engineering Technology degree to provide you with a world of new opportunities. Your time is now. The future is waiting for you.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah.
There he is. Sure wish he's here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Little 4-point. It's a nice coconut. Solid fish.
Watch the Northwest Outdoorsman with Richie Herod Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 4:30 p.m. on the NCW Live channel.
Okay, let's put a ribbon on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley as we close in on a Memorial Day weekend. I hope you have a 3-day weekend. We do, of course. We will not be here on Monday. The staff gets the day off. We like that. Let's take a tour one more time of the Wenatchee Valley. Now that the sun's been up for a couple of hours anyway. It came up at 5:16 this morning. We'll have 15 hours and 24 minutes of daylight. We're just not going to see the sun, I'm afraid, today. We'll get to those details in just a little bit. Not a bad view from the cross camera, isn't it? And that's a spectacular view, it really is. It doesn't really do being there in person justice, but a lot of people have told me when I'm out and about, they say, we love it when you guys do your little tour around north central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley with those cameras. They're just spectacular views. In fact, for a lot of people, they say it's the highlight of the show. And as soon as we get through our little tour, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi setup, then they change the channel to another show. Good morning, Wenatchee. Good morning, East Wenatchee. Good to see you. Good morning, Leavenworth. That's from high atop Blag Mountain. Looks like it's still a little windy up there at Blag Mountain, and we're still going to deal with some breezes. We had a lot of wind, or a little bit of wind anyway, on Tuesday, a lot of wind Wednesday, quite a bit of wind on Thursday. We're still going to be dealing with windy conditions today. Leavenworth, you're down there, and you're hanging in there, and you can still see the snow in the Cascades. Stay home, stay healthy or not, I have a distinct impression that a lot of people will be doing traditional Memorial Day things like camping and boating and what have you. Good morning to Leavenworth from Blag Mountain, which is high atop overlooking beautiful Pesheston, Washington, United States of America. Camera number 3. I know this is the Manson Water Tower. This is the one that fooled me an hour ago. I didn't know what we were looking at, and then Megan pointed out that's the Manson Water Tower looking up lake towards Stehekin. They were a little worried that the Stehekin River might go over its banks. The flood stage for the Stehekin is 24 feet. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, although rivers are on the rise because you got warmer spring temperatures and you got the snow melt in the upper elevations and you have some rain. Right now, it does not look like that the Stehekin River is going to go over its banks. Again, the flood stage at the Stehekin is 24 feet. It's not supposed to get above, say, 21 feet at all over the Memorial Day weekend. For the Okanagan River at Tenasket, its flood stage is at 15 feet, and right now is at 15 feet, but it is expected to go down. So the Okanagan River, where it flows by in the Tenasket area, looks like you're going to avoid, might have a little bit of minor flooding, but nothing big. It's the northern Idaho area that they're really concerned about. Good view of the Manson Water Tower looking over beautiful Lake Chelan, and camera number 4 is Oh Me Oh My. It's Omi Gardens. That's a really cool camera. And again, these are called PTZ cameras, which is an acronym for pan, tilt, zoom, which means we can go in and out, we can go up and down, we can go sideways, we can do the hokey pokey, we can do all kinds of cool things as we get a great look at Rocky Reach Dam and Lake Entiat. Good views there, spectacular views from these cameras. And again, all of these are courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless setup. And that means, as you know by now, you can have screaming fast internet to your home or your cabin or whatever the case may be, and you don't need to have fiber run to your house. Give Localtel a call at 888-8888. They'll let you know if you qualify. Here's the slide that was sent to us from the National Weather Service. I want to show it to you again. Again, the big story for us in the Wenatchee Valley, and you see we're not expecting any rain at all. Maybe a little bit of light rain in the Stamil Basin and up in the Mission Ridge area, but nothing here on the valley floor. You can see that big swath of real estate that we're expected to be dry. But the story continues to be these unseasonably cool temperatures. We're supposed to be right around 73 or 74 degrees for our afternoon high this time of the year. We only got to 65 yesterday. We haven't even been to the normal high for about 4 or 5 days now. It has been cooler than normal. It's going to be cooler than normal today. That's all going to change starting Saturday and into the weekend. Let's go ahead and take a look at it from the National Weather Service. Lots of clouds today. Once again, dealing with some breeze. A northwest wind about 13 to 18 miles an hour. We could see the occasional gust up near 30 at times today. Tonight, mostly clear, 44 for the overnight low. Northwest winds still 11 to 16 miles an hour. Gusts around 20 at times tonight, but it will eventually be diminishing in the overnight hours. Best day until Tuesday, absolutely tomorrow if you'd like sunshine and mild temperatures. Forecast high of 75, very little wind in the forecast. On Saturday, 49 for the overnight low. Clouds come back on Sunday. Now, we're going to warm up. We'll be at 77 on Sunday and 78 on the holiday. Lots of clouds, no wind, no rain, just lots of clouds. But again, there could be the occasional scattered shower in the upper elevations on the east slopes of the Cascades. So if you're going to be out and about and say the Lake Wenatchee area, Plain, places like that, Stevens Pass, you could get a little wet on Sunday and Monday. Then we warm up. 82 on Tuesday, 83 Wednesday, 86 Thursday. Bring on the sunshine and the warm temperatures. All right, that's it. That's a wrap for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Again, we'll be taking Memorial Day off. Don't forget about Memorial Day and why we observe Memorial Day on Monday. We'll see you Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.